Welcome back to Creeper World 4. Today's mission is going to be Wall is Friend here, which is kind of a strange one in that you cannot defeat the enemy. It's just a case of being able to delay it just long enough. Since there's only one objective to hold them off, we've got 12 minutes. It's going to take that long regardless of what happens. So, this might remind you some of the wave, but it's a lot different. We have massive amounts of creeper, almost maximum depth, 2,000 here. And you've got the energy walls to hold it back. And then we need to survive the 12 minutes without it crashing into the base that we need to hold on this end. If you do nothing to stop it, here's what it looks like. You'll fail with a little over 20 seconds left before the timer hits. You can see the wave has crashed down into this end. And it might take only 20 seconds. It's got to be pretty easy to delay it for 20 seconds, right? Well, not really, no. So here's how I'm going to begin it. And I've got the Rift Lab down here, of course, all the miners. I do have to use pylons to traverse this, but every other place is close enough that I was able to just barely fit, towers to connect down to the various areas. And we're going to take a while to build up the energy here. There's no point in a factory or an urn portal. Because we have no urns, we have no resources to be used at the factory. So now we've got the towers going. Turn on all the miners. And I'm also going to turn on the pylons as the next thing that I'm going to want to build. So as that goes, this will take 1 minute to knock down each of these walls. And then it'll move forward to the next part. The moving forward part is the key. We just want to be able to slow it down by little bits as it does that. So we are going to have, we have mortars over here, and then we've got more cannons and mortars back here. We're going to want to do as much damage to the creeper as possible, but again, delaying it is the more important objective. You can see overall there's 2.2 million. We're going to get rid of, 200,000, maybe 250,000 of it as it just goes by the first wall here. 1 minute in. We're not going to be able to do a significant amount of damage to it. And energy is trying to get caught up here, but not quite there. Still building out some of these towers. Some is going now. We're starting to get some of the miners up, so that's a little bit better. And these mortars here are going to be my first thing that I'm going to build. Just waiting for the energy to get a little higher. Go ahead and do it there. And now the energy's going down again. So we're kind of going to go back and forth here for a bit. Making sure we use all of our energy. Oh. Okay, and now I think that, yeah, this is all set up here. So once the pylons are up, I just want to throw in then all of my energy into the mortars. While this wall here is just about done for. So I got 13 mortars, might have been able to afford maybe one more, but the idea is that they'll be able to fire at this. There it goes. Once it just about gets into range for them. And there they go. And so, again, they're not going to do a great deal of damage to this, but very small amounts of slowing it down. Oh, we're getting pretty much maxed out here on energy. I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate all of our cannons. Then we'll activate these next once those are done. So these mortars down here are going to continue to fire. But in the meantime, we're building up additional weapons behind. We do have an energy shortage. We still have enough to keep all the mortars firing, which is what matters. And where is our... Yep. It's gradually going down. Okay, I think we're good now. What I'm going to do is activate these, turn them on, and then I'm also going to move all these mortars back to the next level, because this is about to go. So you can see the overall level, we've gotten rid of about 50k. And of course, you're going to lose energy every time you go back, because you lose the next miner and a few towers. Let's go ahead and try to adjust these slightly. Once again, we're trying to just slow it down that little bit so it only gets to the wall. And so every, wall you hit, you're just trying to buy yourself maybe a couple seconds each one. That's it. You're not making any huge inroads other than that. And the point of having these mortars back here will be seen as soon as it pushes over this lip. But the idea is, they will hit the lower levels of creeper as it goes forward. And just make it take that much small amount longer to push forward. Otherwise, we're just kind of sitting here waiting. We've got fairly balanced energy at the moment. But we're sitting here waiting while this comes forward. And just, getting rid of a little bit more creeper will just thin it out that little bit so it's not quite as deep as it moves forward. It's just these little small advantages that we're trying to gain. Okay, we are now, let me make sure I don't lose anybody here. We are now ready to move back again. And there we go. Now I also I didn't quite do it yet here, but let's go ahead and we have avoid creeper off on all of these. I want it off on these as well. And let me make sure, yep, it's not, I don't have it on these either. Let's turn that off. Okay. So now, once this gets close enough, you can see the cannons just taking that little bit of the lip away. Okay, now we're going to move those back. Then we'll move the cannons back in a moment. Using the group move, of course, to try to keep them in their line. And there we go. So back we go. And I think I should actually be pushing forward a little bit more here, so that you're more in firing range. Alright, and then while all this is going on, I'll just address this a bit. Still have enough energy for the weapons we have for the moment. That will not last forever. You know what? You should probably move back one more. Yep, there we go. It's starting to break through over here. So, we need to move back once more again. Now all of you will be coming back here in a minute. Go. Let's make sure we don't wait too long. And now they're hitting into this wall. So we are over halfway there in terms of time. And we're using more energy now that than we are taking in. And it won't be long now till I have to start getting rid of some of my frontline mortars. Yeah, I think we're definitely using more energy than we can afford to now. I'm gonna wait till some of these actually start running out of power. There we go. Now it's happening. Let's go ahead and knock out a few of these. Probably still not quite enough. Let's knock out you. There we go. I'd like to keep my deficit and usage about the same amount. That seems to be a decent balance point. But you just... when you get pushed back far enough, we don't have the energy. As I move this back all the way. To really... okay. Yep, this is coming again. But to really sustain the same amount of weapons. And so our killing power overall is going to go down. But again, the most important part are these back here, because they're going to slow down the advance. Okay, now we're really getting hammered here, so we're going to turn supply off on these for a bit. Because I want these cannons to be able to keep firing. Okay, let's get these ready to go. They got to come all the way up here, so I think I might have actually waited a little bit too long. Oh, we just escaped. Okay, now let's turn all of these back on. And they'll fire away some more. But, once again, we have too many now. It's also just... I'm just going to take a moment to move these back into place. There we go. And you can go away. I think that's about where I want to place it. We have less than 2 minutes. We also have less than 2 walls. So as you can see, this is... we're not making huge differences in slowing this down. You can see that just the massive wave here, but it'll eventually just bounce back and forth. Okay, let's now take these, turn their supply off, and move them back again. We'll resupply them eventually. But I just want to make sure that we have the power to push these. Okay, you've got to go. Cannons, of course, will be next. And I'll just be placing them right about there. Time to go. Okay, now we're going to select all of you and turn your supply back on. And now they're into the final wall, but it's also at 11 minutes. So they're barely going to get through this wall if they do it all. Our fighting journey has pretty much ended at this point. We got them down, lowered down below 2 million. And even though it's spread out along this entire range here, you can see the height of it is still in the hundreds. Which is a lot better than 2,000. But it's not low enough for us to really have any hope of stopping the wave. You can see we're going to get here just about the time this wall falls. Yay! It's starting to break, but we are gone. 12 minutes, just like everybody else. So I hope Waller's Friend was enjoyable for you. And I'll probably do something a little bit more conventional next time around. Thanks for watching.